Hello everyone, welcome to our Sahaja Yoga Meditation online. Tonight we will have a special meditation about self-mastery, and Engin will be here to lead us into the meditation. Just a second. All right, so Engin is coming here. So.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's all good.
It's all good. Hello everyone, good evening. Nice to see you. As David was saying, today's meditation is on self-mastery and basically the void center, which is the center around, which surrounds our third center. And so for that, if we could just have the chakra chart come up, David, so I can let them have a look. So the green area, which surrounds the chakra number 3, which is called the Nabi, is what we will be talking about today. But before we start anything, I think it's very nice to start off with a meditation to just bring ourselves into the right state, into a balanced kind of atmosphere. So let's begin by, if you haven't done that yet, I'll run you through it, raising our Kundalini and putting ourselves in a bandhan. It might have come up in previous sessions. If not, I'll just give a brief explanation of what that is. So before, at the beginning and at the end of every meditation, we do this exercise to help bring our Kundalini energy all the way up to the 7th center and balance our 3 energy channels. And then we put ourselves in a bandhan, which is translated into protection, so that we basically spread this positive energy around us. So I'll just go up so you can see me. So for that, we can start at the bottom of our spine and wrap around our hand all the way to the top of our head and tie a knot, symbolizing our desire for our energy to stay on top of our head. So let's do that 2 more times. We do it 3 times for each of our 3 energy centers, energy channels, sorry. And now for the bandhan, we can keep our hand open, our left hand open on our lap, and with our right hand, we make a horseshoe movement across our whole subtle system. We do that 7 times, all of our 7 energy centers. So now just get in a comfortable position if you're sitting on the ground or on a chair, and we can close our eyes. David, if you could put up a photo of Shimataji. Thank you. Let's close our eyes and take a few deep breaths through our nose. And slowly breathe out. You can do that a few times, slowing down our breathing every time, to bring ourselves into the present moment. We can put both our hands towards the earth or on the earth if we're sitting on the ground. The earth element has the amazing ability to absorb and bring us into balance. So here, silently inside, we can ask the Mother Earth, please, Mother Earth, absorb any imbalances I might have picked up throughout the day, throughout this week. Anything which is causing me to worry or not allowing me to go into meditation, please let it be absorbed into the Mother Earth. We can bring our left hand back on our lap, just keeping our right hand towards the earth. And here let's balance our left channel, which is the channel of our emotions, of our desires. Please, Mother Earth, absorb any unfulfilled desires which might prevent me from going thoughtless today in my meditation. Any imbalance in my emotions. Any doubts, insecurities. Please, may they be absorbed. Placing our right hand back on our lap, we can now put our left hand palm upwards, palm facing towards the back. This is to balance our right side, and we're using the ether element, the air element, to cool down any overactivity in our right channel. You can ask them, our Mother Kundalini, please, Mother, cool down our right side. Please silence my mind. Any heat we might have absorbed through physical or mental overactivity throughout the day, we can allow that to pass on to the ether. Slowly put down our hand. And now for the center channel, we can cup our hand at the bottom of our spine and very slowly raise our Kundalini all the way to the top a few times, following with our attention, bringing it all the way to the top of our head. Do that a few times. Inside, expressing our desire, please, Mother Kundalini, bring me into balance. please rise up within me and allow me to enter the state of meditation. Place our hand on top of our fontanelle bone on our scalp and press down. We can use quite some pressure to massage our scalp in a clockwise direction towards our right shoulder. Bringing all our attention to this present moment on top of our head. Now we can raise it up a few inches and just observe what we feel above our head. Keep our eyes closed and put our hand back down and just keep our attention above our head where our hand just was. And we can sit in silence for a few minutes. Maybe we can have a little bit of music just for 2-3 minutes. If any thought comes, just say not now and allow it to move on. You can meditate for 2-3 minutes with some music. We can slowly open our eyes. And whilst we're still in this meditative state, can I ask you to just lift your hands to the level of your heart? And maybe we can try closing our eyes again. I know we just opened them. Just to concentrate and observe what we can feel in our fingertips. Can we feel any coolness or warmth? maybe a pressure or a tingling on any particular hand, palm more than the other, or finger more than the other. Let's not think about it, we're just observing to see if there is any sensation there at this point. We can keep it in our attention, what we felt now. The reason why I brought your attention to this is it is this tool that we have, whether you do feel anything just yet or not yet. Sometimes it takes a bit of time for this, for the sensitivity to feel anything. Some people feel it from the first day, some people it takes some time. But this ability to feel our own subtle system plays a great part in the role of us becoming our own masters and having the self-mastery within us. If I could just have the chakra chart for a moment. So, as I mentioned today, we will be talking about the void area, which is the green area, the green area around the Nabi center, which is our third center. And the main quality of the main aspect that we try to achieve with the void is self-mastery, or as we often refer to it, as becoming our own guru, our own master. And the void is the Nabi, which is the third center, is situated inside the void, as you can see. And the second center, the yellow one, is actually turning around the third center. And that spinning motion is the Swadhisthana, which rotates around the Nabi. Through that rotation, an area of the void is created. So this area is actually created by the second center. That radius that it has when it goes around the third center is what creates the void within us. The void is very important because this is where our seeking comes from. The seeking for something higher, the seeking to find out more about ourselves, to be more in touch with our true nature, our spirit, which we find out afterwards. And as the Nabi center, the third center, governs our sense of satisfaction and peace, and the Swadhisthana, which is the second center, it controls our attention. And that gap between that represents how far our attention is from what is truly important, which is our spirit. So when our attention is caught up in things of the daily life, our work, our family, materialistic things, and achievements, our failings, when we doubt ourselves, that is when the void can get blocked. And we kind of go away from being our own master. And the achievement that we get when we are our own master is that peace inside, the full security that who we are, what we're doing is our spirit, and that knowledge that we are the spirit is what gives us that peace inside and allows us to really do things full of true confidence. So decisions we make, anything, when we know who we are and we're completely certain where it comes from, then we become very decisive people in a very balanced way. The whole Nabi center and the void is really all about balance. And when we get out of balance, when we go into the extremes, if it's even if it's something good, say you're on, you want to be healthy and you're thinking of switching to healthy foods, if we do that in such an extreme way that we're constantly thinking about it and our attention is all going towards that, that is also out of balance. So the ability to discriminate between what is good for us and that innate ability, which gets so easily covered in our day-to-day life, is what we try to regain and establish by working on our nabi and on our void. Just taking a few notes, so if I look down, sorry. So yeah, the real ability is that to discriminate between what is good for us and what is not good for us. And once you have your own Kundalini awakening, then the great thing is that, of course, not straight away we might feel that way, but then we have the ability to actually become our own masters, because we can feel on our fingertips, in our body, what is good for us and what is not good for us, what is keeping us, what is taking us out of balance and what isn't. And if you're feeling it yet, or if you're not feeling it yet, that sensation on our fingertips allows us to feel if something is maybe not so good for us. So if you're in a situation where you're maybe about to do something which is not so good for your spiritual growth or for yourself, you might actually get either like a gut feeling that that's not so good, or you might actually feel it in your hands. You might feel a heat, you might feel a tingling that something is not quite right. And that is a real great tool to have. So let's just take another moment. I'm just going to put little meditations here and there because I feel like I'm talking a lot and I don't want it to become too mental. To close our eyes again. And we'll take a moment to focus on this third center, which is the void center. And let's place our right hand onto the stomach area. And we can rotate it a little bit in a clockwise direction, so towards our left shoulder. And try and really get in contact with this desire within us to grow, this desire within us to grow deeper in our spiritual awareness, to know who we are, to know ourselves. So to establish self-mastery within us, we have to distance ourselves from all desires that we have. Because when we are desireless, this allows us to feel the peace inside. The desires are that which pushes us away from the present moment. So we are then either in the past or in the future. But the true peace is what we find in the present moment. So here, let's ask our Kundalini energy, please allow me to be in this present moment, in reality. So we can open our eyes again. The void is governed by the knowledge of the 10, as Shimataji calls them, the 10 primordial masters. And these are figures that came on this earth throughout history with a message of truth. And if we can just have the chart of the 10 primordial masters. So as you can see, these are really masters who are from all faiths and backgrounds, and these great prophets who came to give the knowledge of a higher reality are placed in this the center, and all embodiments of the principle of the primordial master is what they taught, and this righteous living that maintain a balance of our dharma, and dharma, which is like a virtuous righteous conduct, so living in a way which is benevolent not just for us but for everyone around us. And these 10 gurus, which are Moses, Zarathustra, Confucius, Lao Tse, Socrates, Muhammad, Shirdi Sai Baba, Guru Nanak, and Raja Janaka, are the prophets that came down with this message. And this truth that they were talking about, these beautiful qualities that they try to establish within humanity, is what helps nourish the center and helps lead the way to have a balanced void. I actually picked out a quote here from Lao Tse when he talks about the Tao, which is like the Kundalini energy. It's the version in China for the Kundalini. The Tao never does anything, yet through it all things are done. If powerful men and women could center themselves in it, the whole world would be transformed by itself in its natural rhythms. People would be content with their simple everyday lives, in harmony and free of desire. When there is no desire, all things are at peace. So how do we work on our void? How do we nourish our void center? So the void, the elements of the void are water and fire. So the water element, which is in the Nabi, so it's the element of the Nabi, and the fire element of the Swadhisthana, the second one. So the third one, which was the one in the middle, and the Swadhisthana, which is around. So those two elements are what help us keep our void in balance. So things that bring the void out of balance, as I mentioned, or take us away from our self-mastery, are, for example, when we doubt ourselves, when we are not sure of what we're doing, who we are. So the first step to that is receiving your self-realization and knowing that we are the spirit. We have a body, we have a family, we work, we do all these things in life, but in the end, what we truly are is our spirit. And whenever we come back to that truth, we really go inwards to that truth, that is when we can really cross this void of illusion, and that's where we find that peace. So knowing who we are and believing who we are, avoiding I wrote down avoiding fanaticism, so anything in an extreme behavior. As I mentioned, even if it's something positive, if we go to the extreme in any way, we again create an imbalance within us. And anything which is not in balance is taking us away from reality. And remembering that there is more to life than material things. So really, again, bringing back that element of that we are the spirit. And also any substances which mess with our awareness. So drugs, alcohol, things like that can upset the navigation of this center because our awareness is clouded. But I had a small excerpt prepared by Shimataji to talk a little bit about these primordial masters and this journey that we go on when we are becoming our own master. Unfortunately, we've got some issues with that. David, I wanted to ask, is it possible for me to play the audio, or is that also not possible?
So yeah, so the audio might be possible, but I don't know how you would do that.
Okay, don't worry. I'll just say whatever I remember from it. In that excerpt, Shimataji was talking about that when we are, I think she used a really nice example of driving a car. So when you are driving a car, then I hope I remember this, when you drive the car, then you might have an instructor behind who is giving you instructions and you are learning how to navigate and so on. But once you know how to drive it and once you are fully aware of your surroundings, then also you don't need those instructions, because you know innately your body basically functions in a way you've programmed it inside how to navigate yourself. And then there comes a time when you really notice that you are in this car and things are happening around you, and that's when we notice that we are the spirit, and that detachment from everything which is happening around you, that you almost see that it's like a play around us. And although we very much are involved and we should really obviously be part of everything, but to always know that the reality is the spirit. Always come back to the spirit. And that reality is what allows us to really establish the qualities of the void and of the Nabi. And as I mentioned, the elements that help us balance out the center were water and fire. So one of the best techniques that I can recommend is a foot soak. I don't know if that was mentioned in any previous sessions, but that is, I would say, almost a go-to for an everyday meditation. So as this lovely illustration shows, it is actually soaking your feet in a bucket of water. And what you put a handful of salt in that bucket, and I would use just a bucket designated for foot soaks, so don't use it for anything else. So what you're doing is you have the water element, and then you have the salt, which represents the earth element. So just like when we go to the ocean, that feeling when you dip your feet in the ocean, where you just feel almost that relaxation, like the ocean can absorb anything within us, that's the same effect that the foot soak has. And that element of the water really cleanses out anything that we have absorbed within the day, any of the illusions which might be confusing us in the day and might not allow us to go thoughtless and to switch off our mind. And so if you prepare a foot soak, say at the end of the day, even if it's just for 5 minutes, you put your feet in, you raise your kundalini, put yourself in a bandhan, and sit quietly and ask to become thoughtless. Any other techniques you might have learned, also feeling what your chakras, your energy centers on your hands, and working on those specific ones. You can do all of that in the foot soak as well. But just that technique alone absorbs a lot. Another way of balancing the void is with a candle. So the candle element is the fire element is when, so the water is the cooling aspect, but also the fire element is if there's any imbalance where we go a bit too much to the left side, so the left void, that helps. So rotating a candle around our void area could, in a clockwise direction, can help bring that center into balance. So once again, I feel like I've talked a lot. So now that we have talked about how we can bring our void into balance, what brings it out of balance, and that the actual goal is to really be the spirit and nourish this desire to grow. One important thing which I wanted to mention is the patience that we must have with ourselves, because the void can also go out of balance, as I mentioned, if we don't believe in ourselves, and if we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to always be perfect and to grow faster. Our spiritual growth is not something we can control. It's something that you kind of tap into, and our pure desire to be the spirit is what nurtures that. So for this second meditation, let's close our eyes again. Maybe we can have some quiet music in the background. So let's bring our hand again to, actually maybe let's start with putting our left hand on our right Swadhisthana, with our left hand on the right hand side of the lower abdomen. So left hand on the right side of our lower abdomen. So this is where the second center is. So as I mentioned, this center governs our attention. So our attention is the one which keeps us very busy in the day and is constantly being pulled left and right. And even when we're trying to relax, maybe meditate, our attention might be miles away thinking of other things and planning things. And so here to cool down this center, we can ask our Mother Kundalini within us. Mother Kundalini, please cool down my right Swadhisthana. Please bring my attention into the present, into reality. Let's feel how this really relaxes our shoulders, relaxes our forehead, just our whole body. Every time we breathe out, let's just feel how we allow ourselves to relax. Mother Kundalini, please enlighten my attention so that I only put my attention on those things which are good for my spirit. If we notice our tension wandering off, we can always bring it back to where our hand is situated or on top of our head. Now we can put our left hand back on our lap and put our right hand on our navel, on the center of our abdomen, which is where our third center is. And as we mentioned, that this center is the center of peace within us and of satisfaction. So here we can ask inside, Mother Kundalini, please establish true inner peace within me. Please allow me to be absolutely satisfied with everything that I am and everything that I have. You can feel how any tension within us, which might come from unfulfilled desires, being unsatisfied about anything in our life, just drop out. Mother, by your grace, I am completely satisfied. Now rotate around our void again in a clockwise direction, so towards our left shoulder. Do that as slowly as we need to so that we can really bring this peace within us. And here we can ask inside of us, Mother, please make me my own master. Please make me my own guru. And now we can confirm within us with full confidence, Mother, I am my own master. I am in control of my emotions, my actions, my thoughts. I am my own master. We can say it as many times as we need to till we really feel the gravity of what that is, till we really believe and say these words truly from our heart and with full honesty. Mother, I am my own master. Now that we know that we are our own master, we can lift our right hand, and put it on our heart on the left hand side. And this is where our spirit resides. The spirit which is the true essence of who we are. So here we can also confirm and say, Mother, I am the pure spirit. I am nothing but the pure spirit. Please, Mother Kundalini, let all other identifications I might have about who I am drop away. Mother, I am the pure spirit. We can now place our hand on the left hand side of our right hand on the left hand side of our shoulder. On our left hand shoulder, turn our head a little towards the right. And here we can forgive ourselves for any wrong we might have done, which might accumulate as guilt in this center. So when we don't have faith in who we are can also affect, when we don't have self-confidence, can affect this center. So here we can say, as I am the Spirit, how can I be guilty? I am not guilty. We can now put our hand across our forehead and lean our head a little into our palm. And this center can get blocked when we can't forgive. So here we can forgive everyone. Very importantly, we also forgive ourselves for any mistakes we have done against our own spirit. I forgive everyone. Mother, I forgive everyone, and I forgive myself. Now let's lean our head into our hand, placing it on the back of our head. Here also we can, now that we've asked ourselves we've forgiven ourselves, we can ask for forgiveness from the divine, that if I have committed any mistakes against my own spirit, if I have gone against my own dharma, please forgive me. And lastly, we can put our hand on the top of our head again pressing down on our fontanelle bone. We can ask the Kundalini energy within us, please, Mother Kundalini, establish my self-realization within me so that I can truly become my own master. Please, Mother, establish my realization. We can keep our attention on the top of our head, but put our hand down. And let's take a moment to feel inside this self-respect for ourselves, for our own dignity. that gravity that we get when we establish our self-mastery within us. When we know who we are, we're completely certain who we are. Nothing can push us over. Nothing can unsettle us. Because that gravity, that silence inside is extremely powerful. Mother, please keep me in this reality. We can slowly open our eyes. Lost track of the time. I think we only have 2 more minutes. So, an easy way to, when you feel that somehow life is just rushing by and you're losing the focus of what is really important, and to really bring yourself back in, a beautiful way is to work on your void. So just saying these affirmations that I am my own master. I am the spirit for the heart. Just bringing, again, honing in our attention, focusing on what is really important, to when the pendulum is just swinging too far out, left or right, to bring that gravity back in the middle, because that gravity is what allows our roots to really grow deep. And when our roots grow deep, then the tree is really strong. And it becomes easier and easier to bring ourselves back into this, into reality, to really, focus back on what's really important. So I think that in a nutshell is really what the amazing quality of the void is, and how we can establish that self-mastery in our day-to-day life. So it's not something that we just do when we meditate, but let's try and really expand that in every aspect of our life. And I wouldn't say it's being in control, quite the opposite actually. It might seem like mastering myself is being very much in control, but it's more taking a step back and really watching things as they go by, instead of really involving ourselves into everything, and always reminding ourselves that we are the spirit is really the message for today, I would say. So I would like to thank everyone for joining, and hope to see you next week again on another interesting topic. As always, I finish off really encouraging everyone to meditate every day, even if it's just for a few minutes, because this tool that we have, this state that we can go in, which is the state of meditation, is something that only really gets stronger when we practice it. like any sport, any muscle, is something that just gets better when we try. So even if it's just 2-3 minutes a day, sitting down and bringing our attention inside, really allows us to um, know ourselves more and to grow. And it's not just something we can only do once a week when we join online, but it's really something that we're trying to give you so that you can do it every day, and that it really benefits your life every day of the week, not only Thursdays. So do find that time to meditate, and you need it most when you don't have the time. So yeah, thank you again, everyone, for joining, and have a lovely evening.